Part one, refocusing our perspective of success. I want to begin with a broad concept of what success is. Sorry, that's my. What is success? We need to kind of ask these broad questions so that we can start to define what success is. But we need to, sorry for repeating myself, but start broadly there. How do we conceptualize the idea of success? If you can have a look at your workbook or have a piece of paper handy, activity 1.1 and 1.2 or what I'll be referring to here. But I'd like you to just write down some broad ideas and definitions of what success is, what it means, okay? And very, very importantly, what you feel contributes to this idea of success. Please take a couple of minutes to do that. Please share your ideas in the chat. I'm going to try and figure out how I can also see the chat while I'm presenting. But please take a couple of minutes and just share your ideas.
If you have missed the workbook, I have just shared the Realization Reboot workbook link in the chat with you. We've got Jody Lloyd saying that success is doing what you love and being paid in fair exchange for that service you give.
Yeah, I think being paid is, yes, that's always nice. I think what is important, and Jody will kind of connect the dots here with regards to kind of doing what you love, as well as the sort of being paid there. Obviously, that is important.
We have some more
Yes.
sorry. We've got more comments. Koliswa says, achieve my goals is what success means to her. Guy Harris says, being happy and making impact. And Craig says, learning and teaching and empowering with purpose.
Some nice broad ideas, yeah.
Yeah, and then Mike says one of his favorite all-time quotes is, what is success? To laugh often and much, to win the respect of intelligent people and the affection of children, to earn the appreciation of honest critics and endure the betrayal of false friends, to appreciate the beauty, to find the best in others, to leave the world a bit better, whether by a healthy child, a garden patch, or a redeemed social condition, to know even one life has breathed easier because you have lived. This is to have, if I scroll down here, this is to have succeeded by Waldo Emerson. And lovely, lovely comments coming through. Are you able to see the chat now, Lloyd?
No, for some reason, I cannot see the chat at all.
I think one last comment from Margaret is, success is ability to follow that path you envision and identify with, ability to accomplish goals and dreams. Oh my word, people are sharing some brilliant things here. Chris as well. You must tell me when I must stop reading everything.
I have just discovered where my chat was hiding.
Excellent.
So
yeah, oh gosh, it's amazing.
There's fantastic stuff coming here.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody.
This is excellent. Thank you for sharing all of that, guys. I think a lot of that is so sort of inspiring, so positive. It sounds so great. And I suppose sort of there's so many quotes, there's so much out there about success, what it is. We kind of read it, we get inspired, but then why does it seem so hard to kind of continue? And that's what we're going to sort of explore in the next section. What I'd like to ask is in the chat, and this is sort of activity 1.2, can you share some ideas of the characteristics of success? What are the people who are successful in your lives, or you, if you do consider yourself to be successful, what are the characteristics that you feel have contributed to that success? I'd love to see, based on what's been shared already, the more you give, the more you get. Okay, putting in the effort there. What goes around comes around. Clear direction, tenacity. Guys asking if we can download the chat. Lisa, I'm sure we can save that at the end. Definitely, there's loads of fantastic stuff here. Ambitious, determined, disciplined, drive, gratitude. Glass 90%, not half full. Finding joy in small things, being grateful, fulfilled and empowered. Okay, again, these are all such positive words and characteristics: drive, willpower, patience, integrity, passion, connection, optimism. Fantastic. That's excellent. What I'm going to do, you're welcome to keep them coming. If you do have anything else if you want to share something other than just the characteristics, please do just grab one of our attention, maybe wave your hands. But I think what is important is to, so I'll just get my other window back so I can see where I'm at. Sorry. Okay, yes. So this word cloud here is a list of characteristics of successful entrepreneurs from a study across the US and Canada. And I think you'll notice many, many similarities between what's been shared in the chat now and what is on this word cloud. And I think that's fantastic. I think that's, it lets us know that we're kind of all on the same page. We all have the right type of sort of understanding of what it takes to be successful, which is great. When we look carefully at these words, self-confidence, self-discipline, organized, risk-taking, decision-making, tolerance, independence, and so on. I think one thing that really, really stands out to me is that none of these words really relate to sort of formal teaching or education. None of these words really relate to the things that we often invest so much of our time and energy into on a daily basis, particularly in our business spaces, but in our sort of home spaces as well at times. It's not about the sort of business strategies and things like that often consume so much time and energy. These words relate very much to an individual. And I think that is something that I just really want to emphasize, and I'll probably repeat myself, so my apologies in advance, but this is really all about the individual. I want to share, I read an article recently that was talking about success of entrepreneurs. And one of the comments was, while the lack of business knowledge and skills are some of the factors that contribute to these SME failures, another significant contributing element is that that is seldom discussed is a lack of self-knowledge and self-development. And I think I just really want to emphasize that it is seldom discussed. Self-knowledge, self-awareness, introspection, reflection, these are all words that we know. But in so many circles, so many spaces, they kind of danced around or avoided it. It's kind of almost becomes a bit of a taboo in some spaces to kind of talk and use these words, because no, we've got to keep it sort of on point. We've got to keep it on the business, keep it on these strategies and these ideas. We can't talk about all these other things, as often what's referred to as the soft skills. So furthermore, this article goes on to say that entrepreneurs who are self-aware have the ability to perceive others accurately and will help them to align their team's strengths to the businesses. Knowing how to harness the inner strength is increased with the self-awareness. Self-awareness enables you to develop an authentic personal brand, because it's you able to actually connect yourself, put yourself genuinely there. And decision-making is through the better understanding of oneself, and the business resembles ultimately the character of the entrepreneur. I think that's I really like that. And therefore, if you'd like to succeed, I want to emphasize this, the journey starts with you. An image that comes to mind, I'm sure you've all seen it, there's this little cartoon of this little person in this jar, and in the jar it's written happiness, and another little character says, "Oh, where did you find that?" And the person says, "Oh, I didn't find it, I made it." And I was lying in bed last night, sort of as I was sort of running through my thoughts for today, and I was thinking that applies to success 100% as well. Success isn't something that you go out and find. Success is something that you create, and it starts within you. And I really wanted to sort of emphasize that. There are so many articles and research papers related to this idea of success, how intensely it is related to the person sort of who's involved there, their ability to reflect, their awareness of self, their self-concept, the ability to self-regulate, and the list kind of goes on and on and on. You just did a quick Google search and you'll find a plethora of these links. Just looking back at this word cloud, it's not really a cloud, but these words here on the screen. Do you notice anything sort of amongst these characteristics? Is there anything any way that we could maybe simplify these down? Obviously, if you are sitting with a workbook in front of you, you'll see exactly what I'm referring to here, and that's sort of activity 1.3. But I'd like us to consider, sorry, I'm jumping ahead. I'd like us to consider how we can simplify these characteristics into two broad sort of aspects of who we are. These are core to kind of us as individuals. If you take a moment in your workbook and you start to try to categorize these characteristics into actions and decisions and relationships, you might find there's a significant amount of overlap between them. As I was going through it, I had sort of the majority of the characteristics in both columns. The bulk was sitting in the actions and decisions column. But for me, the primary ones, the core characteristics, were really sitting in the relationships column. And we'll explore this a little bit later on, but what sits in the relationship ultimately determines and significantly influences the actions and decisions that we take. So the actions and decisions that we take, or at least our ability to do so, and the relationships that we have, create, and nurture are really, really, really fundamental at the end of the day to the success that we create. So when we start to look at it this way, we start to look at success and what's required for success. What I like to so how this sort of idea and thinking sort of makes me feel is that there's a bit of relief, that it seems that success is a little bit more attainable than I maybe initially thought. That success is actually kind of this, I have what I need to succeed within myself. It's right here, which it sort of starts to create a very different idea and concept of what success is. And I really want you to bear that in mind. We're going to be coming back to this